between two people which lasts for some time, marriage, friendship, the relations between parents and children, contains a sediment of feelings of aversion and hostility, which only escapes perception as a result of repression. Freud believed that the one exception to this was the love of a mother for her son, which was based on narcissism, proving only that he was, among many other things, an old-world patriarch. In the 1940s and 50s, British pediatrician and psychoanalyst Donald Winnicott elaborated on the subject of love-hate relations between parents and children. In a classic paper, he listed some 18 reasons why the ordinary devoted mother might hate her infant, daughter or son. For example, the baby endangers her body during pregnancy and delivery. He may be cranky and implacable all morning and then go out and smile at a stranger. Winnicott maintained that mothers who could acknowledge the discomforting fact that love, even for babies, is ambivalent, would be less likely to do harm than the disavowers. Winnicott, I think, would have enjoyed the observation made by novelist Fay Weldon. Quote, "The greatest advantage of not having children must be that you can go on believing you are a nice person. Once you have children, you understand how wars start." Close quote. All relationships, not just familial ones, require us to contain contradictory feelings for the same person. As the poet Molly Peacock has observed, there must be room in love for hate. Definitions of love, aggression, intimacy, and privacy vary enormously, of course, by culture, historical moment, and social class. Without making universal claims, we can assume that people in the contemporary West, with the possible exception of cloistered nuns, live lives bedeviled by the porcupine dilemma. That is, we struggle on a daily basis to balance privacy and community, concern for self and others, sexual union, and a room of our own. 1 year after I wrote that line, a young woman applicant to a cloistered religious order was sent to me for professional evaluation. She seemed genuinely ascetic and contemplative, and I said so in my report. Her spiritual advisor was not as cheered by this as I expected. "These young women," she said, "will spend the rest of their lives relating only to each other, and thus require exceptional social skills. A Carmelite cloister, I learned, is no place for a loner. Porcupines are we all." Although we know these dilemmas to be commonplace, we don't always experience them as such. For example, an affable 35-year-old divorcee, a lawyer, who had grown up with loving, adoptive parents, sought my help for depression. She enjoyed her work and her friends, but was chronically unhappy in her intimate relationships. Moreover, like many women in their mid-30s, she experienced loneliness as a personal failing rather than as a condition quintessentially human. "There may be something really wrong with me," she said in tones befitting one who robs orphanages for sport. "When there is no man in my life, I feel empty and unlovable, and I can barely enjoy anything. And then when I get close to a man, I feel smothered and pampered, sort of chubby with love, and I long for time to think and work late, to feel the edges of things and just to be. Is this sick or what?" A number of things went through my mind having to do with her earliest attachments, her childhood fantasies about adoption, and her actual experiences with men. For some reason, perhaps because she was so keen to call herself bad names, I decided to tell her the fable of the porcupines. I will never forget her response. "It's soothing." Others have said the same. The fable normalizes a problem that many of us take for nothing less than some bizarre character flaw. There is a more familiar story about love and connection, also cited by Freud in passing. It comes from Plato's famous dialogue, The Symposium. In that dialogue, Socrates and friends gather to dine and to discuss the question, what is love? The response that most readers remember is the one